unless you're
Gotta
carrying
have some meat.
Hey
there, beer tubers!
Anyway,
while these guys are fat shaming me, we're about to go live here and do a ReAnalysis 101. We haven't done one of these in a while. A ReAnalysis of a beer that we've done previously on Beer Analysis 101. Because I mean, we've done this show for 7.5 years now, starting on Lee's channel. He's in the comments. We've done a lot of shit that we could just simply, hey, let's go back and look at that one. Which runs counter to the original concept, but I'm not going to get into that shit. Okay, so yes, we are going to take another look at Ransack, the Universe from Collective Arts, one of the classic Canadian IPAs, which when we first looked at it, it was only like 2 years old. It was like a new thing.
Different cans. Remember that?
Yeah, I love this fucking can. I'll get into this later. I didn't even look who did the artwork, but I really like this tiger kind of thing going on. All right, so let's move along here, and we'll get over to who we have with us, which is the Beard. How you doing tonight, Teacher Beard?
I am well. How are you, Mr. Star?
I'm not too bad.
Excellent.
Tired. But
No.
All right, so let's go over to next person, Greg. Everybody's favorite Greg.
hi Nick, how are you? You're not looking fat at all this evening. How are you?
I'm looking better, although I did have McDonald's today, so that's like 600 pounds.
There you go.
I just gotta shit. It's like we'll be able to shit till Thursday next week, but whatever.
That's okay. I'm doing relatively well. I can't complain. You can see my nipples, so that's something your audience gets to enjoy for the rest of the evening. So
everybody can have that image in their head of Greg's nipples.
Well, there you go. And,
they're just off camera unless you lean back. So there you go.
I can lean back and do that. Also, when I look down, I can see my penis. So I just thought you'd like to know that.
Congratulations! Yeah, no, I know the feeling. Well, now
so I probably should put some pants on.
All right. While Greg goes to put some pants on, we're gonna go to speaking of nipples, we're gonna go over to Scott, who no longer has man boobs.
I never had man boobs.
Loser.
Yeah, come on, get with the times.
No, I don't want the man boobs.
Boobs.
Then you could throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier.
Do your boobs hang low? Get your tooth broken.
I'd like to see how big boobs would have to get to be able to do that, and saggy.
Miss Chokes on Dick from South Park.
Who is not a real person.
You're crazy. You're totally real.
Speaking of choking on dick, hi Dan.
All right, so let's keep this rolling here. Say it. How you doing tonight?
Correct him, Dan. I've never choked once in my life. Say it.
Give him the thumbs up. All right, because you can't talk over you.
Sorry, I love you.
All right, thank you, Scott. Nice chatting. All right, so let's go over to the other. I almost said Chatty Cathy, but you're not that bad.
Wow.
Poor Cathy.
Wow. Way to make someone feel welcome.
Scott, I like your haircut, by the way.
Oh wow.
Happy International Day of Pink.
They're all pink on the inside.
Pink used to be a bad color.
It is so today is the either Rainbow Day or International Day of Pink, which started in 2007 when a teenager wore a pink shirt. So this is in Nova Scotia. They wear a pink shirt and they got bullied for it. So a bunch of the students decided in solidarity to wear a pink shirt. So it became a national thing now, which is to wear pink on every second Wednesday of April. So it is an anti-bullying, anti-hate, anti-homophobia thing.
Love everybody.
Question: if I'm pro bully, what color do I wear?
Pink.
Just come see me. I'll give it to you.
You'll give it to me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Red, because you're gonna get your nose punched in.
I was gonna say black, blue, and red.
Not how I'm interpreting.
I was hinting at it, but they said it, so.
Stars when she needs you the ball or something.
Oh, so the balls will be blue.
So you're saying the lower half is blue, but the top half is red.
It's not really pink.
She's going to make Greg into the rainbow.
Oh, taste the rainbow.
All right.
I mean, I'm getting to very different things here, but anyways.
Well played.
Just take it all.
Comments.
Take it all.
Anyway.
Oh, I will.
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm getting close to the end of my placement, so I'm getting excited.
Nice. Okay, let's keep this rolling. Thank you, Lee. Let's go over to Mr. Dan, who's in the chat tonight. How you doing, sir?
Good evening. I'm good. And you?
He's actually in the show, not in the chat.
Yeah, well,
Whatever.
Lee's in the chat. I'm in the show.
I'm in the chat.
My blood's still pumping from, the dash to my room and back, trying to find a shirt that looks red on camera, but it's actually kind of pink.
Oh, shit.
I'll talk about myself here in a moment. Dan's going to take the shirt off.
Fine. We're going to play that way. There's pink on here, so we'll do that. Screw you, Lee.
Yay!
There,
I'm not going to change my shirt. I'm just going to.
There's pink. There's pink. Now I'm doing much better.
Scott's got to get a pink shirt. All right.
I got my pro yellow bully shirt, as Lee says.
Yeah. A coward.
Because you pissed yourself.
Belly. Why, you yellow belly?
I do. When I piss myself upwards. That's the shirt.
And very, very uniformly, and like you should sell your piss to a furniture dye company.
Well, I'm like like in Windows Paint, you got the just click the thing to fill the whole screen. That's basically how I piss.
You fill the hole. That's what you usually do.
Greg's penis is the paint bucket tool.
So yes, I'm doing well.
So yeah, hi Dan.
Hi. Oh my.
All right. So thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Who's next? That would be me. Hi, I'm doing fine. All right. So let me get down to the details of this is a ReAnalysis 101, and bear with me for this one because it's been a while since I've done one of these in this format. Yes. So Collective Arts Ransack the Universe used to be called Hemisphere IPA. We'll get more into the details of this, but we previously looked at this beer on November 29th, 2017. I will share my screen here, and we can take a look.
It was preemie.
Wasn't it a Citra Pale Ale for a while too, or something like that?
I think
it's gone through a few different weird iterations, hasn't it? Sorry, go ahead.
I remember there being a Citra Pale Ale, but I don't know if this was that one because there's no Citra in this. Now I gotta look it up.
Sorry,
it's
what's that picture show there, Nick?
All right, so this is the scores from the original episode. We had Lee on, Chris, Lysak, Greg, and of course me.
I like that picture.
Yeah, I found it on Google image search. I think it came from like Collective Arts. So November 29th, 2017, we gave it. We pretty much liked it. We gave it 8.88 overall for style, and overall enjoyment was 7.63. That's a pretty solid performance back then. Back in 2017, I called it probably one of the best Canadian-made IPAs at the time. We'll get in what I think about it tonight later. But Lee was also. I noted that he said he probably wouldn't get it again, and I quote him. He said, "It's not on my fucking radar." And I thought we were going to have radar on here tonight so that we could say fucking radar, but I guess we can still say fucking radar. So,
Can we?
You said it 3 times. You might have just summoned him.
So to clarify why they call it a Hemisphere IPA is because I double checked their website. It's still true. That they use a combination of Galaxy hops from Myrtleford, Victoria in Australia, and Mosaic hops from the Yakima Valley in Washington, U.S. So it's a Canadian IPA made with U.S. and Australian hops. So it's from like hops from either hemisphere. So it's still technically speaking the Hemisphere IPA. Now I do remember there being a Citra IPA from Collective Arts, but it's not this one. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Something was called a Citra Pale Ale, I think. If I'm not, yeah, but I watched. Wasn't this one here an Extra Pale Ale back in the day? Wasn't this called?
That's Saint of Circumstance was the Extra Pale Ale because it was like the blue label. I remember that.
Yeah, but that's the blonde, isn't it?
What?
The blonde was on Monday.
Isn't that the weird flavored blonde ale? St. Circumstance?
Citra
Yeah,
four-way.
but it's extra pale ale. Well, I remember there being one called Citra Pale Ale from Collective Arts, and I'm trying to
Citra
remember.
four-way. That's what it was called from Collective Arts.
We had Citra four ways. We did that one. That one was the different. That's not the one I'm thinking of.
Nah, is it Beyond Reason? No, that's more recent.
No, Rhyme and Reason.
I'm in Reason. Okay, yes.
That's the one I'm thinking of right there. That was the weird thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I remember the Rhyme and Reason.
Okay. Look at us.
Extra pale ale. Okay. And I remember there being something about Citra, but here we are derailed. So
we're still talking about.
I mean, if Terry's going to talk over everybody, we're going to put him right back on. Before we get to the comments, we'll go right it back around. You were not present on the original episode of the BA 101 for this beer. And it's funny, when I was rewatching the episode, we were talking about your complaint. It's like, oh, I could have got this beer, could have been on. You guys need to tell me, like it's our fault you were paying attention.
It's always your fault.
Yeah. All right. So, what's your history?
It's spicy tonight.
I've had it many times. One of those beers, in my opinion, varies wildly depending on its freshness and refrigeration level. I went all over town today to find the freshest one I could. So, yeah, I don't know what everyone else's date is, but mine's February. So it's not old, but it's not fresh.
Actually fresher than that.
I'm not sure how long. I don't know how long it was in the LCBO's non-refrigerated area before it got into the fridge. But yeah, I've had it many times, and I like it, and sometimes I'm not a fan, depending on its stuff. It's stuff.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, man.
How well into the aging program it is.
Yeah.
When's it came from? Sorry, I missed that.
February something.
Okay. I think mine's same thing.
February
24th for me.
Yeah, I got February 24th as well.
How the hell do I have can fresher than you guys?
Yeah,
Mine's from March 10th.
It just matters whenever they send a shipment out to New Brunswick.
Very pithy. All right, thank you, Beardo. Let's go over to the Greg, and Greg can talk about the dregs in his
Is he
beer.
watching his pornography on his cellular telephone?
I mean, look at how erect his nipples are.
No, my nipples are just erect like this at all times. It's a problem. But this is the last time I checked this in was actually from Beer Anal 101 in 2017. Wow. That was a while ago. I don't even think Lady Lee existed back then.
I didn't.
She wasn't born yet.
I said I was a preemie.
Hatched. She wasn't hatched yet.
She hadn't been hatched.
Her dad's sack hadn't been ransacked yet.
See what
I did there?
Ransack the universe.
I am a ransack the universe. Thank you for pointing it out. According to this, I've had it 5 times before on Untapped, so that's probably what I'm going to go with. I may have had it once or twice more, but yeah, I've had it before. And the one I think you may have been thinking of, the Citra one, was there's actually a beer that they had for a while. It was called Citra 4-Way. So that might be the one you're thinking of. Whoever was mentioned that.
That was already mentioned.
It was mentioned.
Oh, was it?
There was another one that had Citra in the title, but it was like one of those Rhyme and Reason or Life in the Clouds, and so it like had something like a second name, like Citra Pale Ale.
I don't recall.
Well, it could be just Dan in my head now.
Did I not just say Citra 4-Ways?
Well, no, this is an older one. Like Citra 4-Ways is only a couple.
4-Ways gets complicated. 3-Ways are easier.
4-Ways, 3-Ways better, yeah.
4-Ways are trading keys.
Because you literally know where you stand. You're on one side or the other.
Depends. All right. You're having
depends what kind of 3-Ways you have.
If it's an Eiffel Tower, you know where you stand. You're either in the middle or in the.
Because you only Eiffel Tower.
You only Eiffel Tower.
Wow. Okay, so let's keep this moving and go over to Scott. So Scott, you were, you know what? I put Greg on screen just because I wanted to talk to him. I didn't even ask you. You've had it before. You haven't had it again since the previous BA 101.
I mean, I haven't untapped it since then. So how many I've had, I don't know, but it's only been tapped 5 times. So that's what I'm going with.
He only tapped that 5 times.
If you don't
I
tap
only
it,
tapped it
doesn't-
5
didn't
times.
happen.
Exactly.
All right.
They
Okay.
should have an untapped for fucking. Since we're just alluding to it, it's like, yeah, I tapped her. There we go. Check it in.
Untap that.
Yeah.
Right.
Kitty!
All right. Speaking of pussy, Scott,
Wow.
Yes.
Scott's
you were
overcompensating.
not on the original episode. I don't even know if you knew what BA 101 was at the
I
time.
don't think Scott existed
I
then.
was around. Yep, I was around.
Well, you were around, but okay. So
I was on that episode though.
what do you have a history with this beer? Have you ever tried
I've had it once before. Yeah, I've had it once before, but unlike the rest of you, I don't subscribe to Untap. I just have it.
You're a monster.
Yeah, I'm a monster. Yeah, I've had it before. I think it was very complex, more complex than I'm used to at the time. So it'd be interesting to get a new kind of view on it now that I've expanded my beer nomicron. And I'm petting my kitty. I'll open my kitty.
We got
Kitty!
fucking radar over there. Also, Nick, I think it's Rhyme and Reason you're thinking of. That's what comes up when I type in Collective Arts Citra.
At least this kitty isn't the one that drinks. My other cat
that's
drinks.
good.
You know what? I think Rhyme and Reason was the extra pale ale that then turned
It is the
into
extra
Citra
pale ale. Well,
Oh, you know what?
Citra's
That could be it.
Citra's the first hop ingredient they have on the back of the can. So it's probably maybe at one point it was called.
That might
Citra
have been
Pale
it
Ale
because
or
it was
something.
called Extra Pale Ale to start, but it's still Rhyme and Reason was changed to Citra Pale Ale.
Well,
We're
it
really
seems
discussing such a nerdy thing.
Based on okay, hold on. When is this? No, okay. Yeah, no, that's an old stupid Untapped. Show me all of them.
Show me everything.
Yeah, show me everything on tap. There we go. Let me. I'm just looking for a picture.
There's
of the can.
another one called Surround Sound with Chinook and Citra that was 2019.
I remember Surround Sound. I don't know if I ever had it.
I remember
All these
Surround Sound.
Scott.
Double IPA.
Sorry, Scott. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, it's all right. Everyone else does.
All right. So Scott's had it once before. That pretty much sums it up.
Is that
All
a
right,
unicorn
thank
under that? That's
A pink
amazing.
one.
I
All
love
right.
it.
So
I just want to point out that somebody made the wrong tap. Oh, you guys can't see this. Somebody made the wrong tap. They tapped in some beer called Rhyme or Resin from a different brewery altogether. It's like, come on, you untapped nerds, do it properly.
Don't
I have no
drink
history.
ale in my beer.
you have no history with this beer. You've never had it?
Never had this beer.
Wow.
It is the
Okay.
first time for me. I've had lots from Collective Arts because it's literally the only thing we can all get. And that's it. And I'm sure my pretty nails. Ooh, they're pink.
Pretty pink
My
nails.
nails.
And don't you dare bully her for it.
Don't bully her nails.
Right.
I mean, I got a
Great.
big unicorn, so
Stop looking like a girl.
I like her. I like the unicorn. Do I look like a
All
girl?
right.
Fuck.
Well, somewhat.
Shit.
yeah,
Oh,
you gotta change that up.
How terrible.
I know.
Jesus. All right. Thank you.
next thing you
thank
know,
Lee.
some people are gonna get horny.
Well, that's just you.
I have to follow that up. Okay. So what's my history
Sure,
with
okay,
this
leave
beer?
me out of this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was on the
next.
original
Dan's
BA
next.
101. Is my volume down or something? Yes. All right. So I was on the original BA 101 for this. Have
You
I
know
had it?
Dan's here.
I really like Dan is here. Let's put Dan up here. Dan, you were not.
I'm sorry for over talking.
Dan's like one of those people that just
We said you were scared.
I was just,
Hi.
Good night, Dan.
Hi. Okay.
Okay.
Just
Hey,
so that
hey.
just so that I can get
Hey, this is-
give his turn. So,
This is a good time. Cheers, everybody.
so I have had this before. I had this when it was Ransack the Universe Hemisphere
no.
IPA back in
Joe.
2016. And actually, it was April of 2016. So a few years ago. Fuck, 9 years ago. I don't remember if I've had it since. But yeah, I don't remember what the percentage was back then. I think it was still 6.8. But yeah, aside from that, I have had lots of collective arts. So there we go. Sorry, Nick. You can continue now. Thank you for including me.
No, it's all good. I appreciate the thought. So, all right. So let's thank you, Dan. Let's put it back on me here. Yeah. Sorry, I screwed that up. But that's like that never happens on this channel. Yeah, this almost feels like doing BA 101 over again because there's hardly anybody on here that was on the original episode. And you know what the sad part is? Like half the people that were on the original episode are here because we only had 4. It just, I don't know, just we have 6 people. It's great. We've but 4 of them haven't had the beer, so. Weren't on the original episode. So, but I was, of course, there. It was like one of the first episodes of BA 101 that I did. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th episode.
Greg, you're just like
Greg is like as perennial as time itself.
The antibiotics don't get rid of me.
He doesn't. You don't take a shot. Don't take a shot, and Greg clears up.
No, we're gonna have to start working on steroids just to get rid of him.
Get steroid injections. Get some cortisone shots for Greg. All right, so my history with Ransack the Universe, like I might as well just say the entire history over again because it's not like it's super extensive. I've had it a few times over the years. First time I ever had it, I gave it a 4.25 out of 5 on Untapped. Yeah. And I had it way back in April 2016. So that's probably around the time that Collective Arts beers just started showing up here. That's like really early days. Did the beer analysis on November 29th, 2017. I'm sure I've had this since, but as much as I liked it back then, and there's all kinds of other choices to be like that was that time frame after that was like a heyday. New IPAs were coming out all the time. I remember back in the original BA 101, I said something along the lines of it was like one of the best IPAs from Canada, and there's been a lot of releases of IPAs in Canada, and I've had a lot of IPAs, even local stuff from New Brunswick that I won't say that whether they're better or worse, but I'm like that are super contenders for compared to some of the tasty shit that I've had from the States. Like there's some Canadian beers out there that stand up to it. Does this still stand up to it? We'll get into that in a moment. But but I don't know if I've had another can of this until the last weekend when I bought like 3 of these and I saved 2 for today. I had 1 on the weekend. So there's my story. So yeah, so now going over to the comments, we have a ton of comments. If any volunteers to read them?
I can read them if you like.
All right, let's bring it.
Beats all day in class.
I'm sure that half of them are Lee making fun of me for screwing that shit up.
Let's start at Lee.
Lee doesn't make fun of anyone.
Yeah, he's totally not a bully.
So
Definitely not.
more Collective Arts standing from a pack of sips. Just how much are they paying you? Not enough.
Simps.
Not enough.
They should be giving us free beer.
Right.
I mean, we are getting publicity.
Lady Lee responds with nothing. I am a sucker for working and not getting paid. Are you really, Lady Lee? I mean, you are right now, but later on you're going to get
making any money off of Beer Analysis 101. But if making money off, it would be me.
Mr. Lee says true.
True.
Mr. Lee also says, I've seen a real person with boobs. Like that? Boobs. Looks like softballs hanging in tube socks.
Gross.
I will say that when you go to a sex club, you will see people of all shapes and sizes. And yes, some boobs do go.
Some boobs waddle to and fro.
So some boobs definitely have been affected by gravity over the years.
There's some droopy boobs like droobs.
Lee Russell continues with wear yellow if you're a pro bully, yellow for a coward.
There we go.
Gosh.
I'm both a bully and a coward.
Keep up there, Nico.
You yellow belly. All right.
Lee Russell continues. I've never reviewed this. This is for propaganda. Fake news. Fake
Oh, yeah.
news.
Oh, we got
We're gonna have to
fucking
put tariffs on Lee.
we got
Fake
fucking
news.
Trump Russell over here.
Yep. Dan's jumping in. You're fake news. All fake news. Fake news.
Oh.
Fake news. Wrong.
Mr. Lee says I'm unfiltered truth. Sure. If
He's,
you know,
he's unfiltered.
yeah, that's for sure. Lee Russell says, by the way, I've been available to join BA 101 in 2 weeks, so we can't get back to tanking reviews again. So he'll be ready to come back in 2 weeks off his hiatus. The Lady Lee says because we'll lose all our only viewer. Yeah, okay. Well,
Joke's on you. We don't have viewers.
yeah, well, right now we have one.
Lee's our viewer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Lee's our viewer. It's true.
Mr. Lee says yes. Lady Lee, sad face. New in the chat, Bob Boulette.
Rob Boulette.
Rob Boulay.
Rob Boulette.
No,
Rob
he
Boulette.
prefers to go by Bob.
Bob.
No,
Hey, Bob.
he does not.
No.
Is no one else
It's
aware
like
we
it's
have 7 people watching right now?
He's named after his hero, Bob Hardy.
I mean, who isn't?
Rob says, hey, now I'm a viewer too. Well, good for you, Rob.
Hey, now you're a view star.
Lee Russell,
You're
can't
on
get anything
gold,
past Lady
right?
Lee. Intrepid girl teacher. Is there non-intrepid girl teachers?
It makes it sound like
Does
Lee
that
should
just-
be wearing.
Does that mean she's a girl or she only teaches girls? I need clarification on that.
Or yeah, is she intrepid or not? Lady Lee says,
Well, I
would
assume
you-
she is.
Yeah. You would be on the show, though. The beard chimes in. Cheers, Rob. Cheers, Rob.
Cheers,
Rob.
Rob.
Lady Lee always clouding the issue with facts. You know, lady,
Like beers for breakfast, facts for
lady
snacks.
facts.
Oh God.
Rob says twinning nails. Okay, good for you. Oh, it must be the Lady Lee's nails.
Yes, we both did our nails yesterday. We both have pink nails.
Gotcha. Mr. Lee, Nick, admit it. You just want to ignore Dan, but you just cannot. He's a real person with
He's
thoughts.
too
and feelings.
similar. I just don't think about myself that much.
Is he like which one? Which one didn't have a brain? Well, that was the Scarecrow.
I don't know if
Scarecrow.
Dan has
Scarecrow.
feelings though, to be honest, but thoughts maybe. But
Okay, so you're saying I don't have a heart?
No, that's Cowardly Lion.
No, because
Yeah.
he doesn't. He says
No,
I
it's
don't
Tin
have
Man.
feelings. He
No,
says I
Tin Man
don't
doesn't
have
have a
feelings,
heart.
so I
Tin Man
don't
doesn't have a
don't
heart.
That's right. Tin Man doesn't have a heart.
Or
Dan,
Tin
you're
Man.
one of the flying monkeys. Come
Cowardly
on.
Lion doesn't have courage.
Right.
Yeah,
Lion doesn't
nobody
have
had no
courage.
brain. Nobody Scarecrow had no brain, wasn't it?
Yeah, Scarecrow doesn't
Yeah,
have
that's what it was. Okay, there we
a
go.
brain. Yeah. If I only had a brain. Let's go back on to the comments. Lady Lee says, and he's a man. Is he?
He's a man, baby.
He's a
a
man's
man?
man.
Why I'm here.
Rob, cheers, Redbeard. Rob also get the shampoo. Mr. Brandon, is that the first time Mr. Brandon's in? Yes. Yeah. First
No,
time Mr. Brandon's in.
no.
There's no other Mr. Brandons
Ever.
before this.
Ever. First time
Brandon,
ever.
what are you drinking tonight, and how late are you going to be for work tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You wish
Yeah,
he could have made it because
he's gonna.
Never had it?
You're gonna make it to work tomorrow, right? Right?
Yep.
Right?
nah.
Right?
Nick can handle
Left.
your tickets, no problem.
Then the next one, Greg, is the hepatitis of
Ooh.
BA 101.
Cold
The
sore.
closer.
The cold sore beer reviewing, the liver damage of, liver damage.
That's true.
The herpes
And-
of the hops.
That's right. And the
that's good.
Bronzinator finishes off with, he's the unfiltered truth. Oh yeah, I'll be there for work.
For next week. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you'll be there for work.
I mean, Brandon,
there
Brandon-
for you.
Brandon, I'm just saying that whatever bottle of hard liquor you have looking at you right now is probably would be delicious.
Yes, and as long as Dwayne, my alarm clock, is there.
Yeah,
Did he
whatever.
name his alarm clock Dwayne, or is it actually Dwayne as a person and he wakes up Brandon?
Dwayne's a person.
Commas,
He was one of our
they're
coworkers,
important.
So he'll.
I
There's
think
been a
Dwayne
couple of times where
Martinez-
Brandon hasn't shown for work because his alarm didn't wake him up, and Dwayne's called him. So
So, but here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to point out. I wouldn't put it past Brandon to name his alarm clock Dwayne, like the alarm clock.
yeah,
Dwayne.
but Dwayne is his alarm clock. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I get you. But
I thought maybe that's
Dwayne
what
the
he
person is there. but Dwayne the alarm clock is also there.
Maybe that's like what he calls his penis, and he just gets his morning wood. It's like, oh, time to get up.
You're a morning wood.
That would just
I
be
am.
weird.
I am. I'm always erect.
I named my penis after my coworker. Ha ha ha.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
I treat my penis like my third stepchild. I beat it every day.
You treat it like Nick? No, I guess Nick is your second stepchild.
Right.
I shove it in a dark closet and it stays there in isolation.
Wow, that got dark.
Yeah, real fast.
Nick, stop bullying yourself.
Yes. Wear a pink shirt for God's sake.
I beat my. It looks.
You're red.
Red.
Yeah.
Red.
Well, that's what people with bloody noses.
This is a T-shirt my sister-in-law gave me. It's actually a Christmas shirt, so
Wow.
I don't wear it very much. But
You look like somebody that would get killed in Star Trek.
You know what's funny? What is my mug?
And look at the red shirt he's wearing.
oh, your mug says that's your red shirt mug. I remember that. You saved that.
I accidentally finished this beer. I'm gonna have to go by memory on my review. I'm gonna get another beer.
Yes, that's my red shirt mug.
What 4 or 5 month old beer is Greg going to pick next?
Yeah, 2.5-month-old, and it's still a bone shaker.
So review.
Yep.
All right, let's why not? We'll circle back around, go to Redbeard, and say, what's your thoughts?
It's all right.
Say,
Again, from February, it's like what, March, April. It's not that old, but it's fallen off in a decent way. It's pretty malty. The hop, juicy, nice. It's not really there. Like,
I have a
oh,
question for you.
for me. Yeah.
I know you kind of mentioned it, but I wasn't paying attention. Where did you get it?
Shame
Did you get
on
it
you.
Main Street?
No, mine was got at Algonquin.
Algonquin? And was it in the fridge?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I went downtown to Main Street. Theirs was from fucking December, I think. I was like, no, it might have been November. It was old and not in the fridge. I'm like, nope, thank you. Left there, went down to Ferris. Theirs was also pretty old. So I went to Algonquin. And yeah. But
Okay.
again, it's not bad, but it's not what it should be. I've had this fresh and it's delicious. It's the same with Haze Mama. Haze Mama, if it's like more than
Straight
a
into
month,
a Haze Mama review.
month or like month and a half. No, I'm just saying, like some of the collective arts in particular, some of their beers they hit like a month and a half, and their flavor just takes a really noticeable hit, in my opinion. But it's not bad, and I'll go 6.5s across the board for this one.
wow.
Like, it's got way more malty presence than I want from anything that calls itself an IPA. Like, unless it's a British IPA, I guess. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
The beard has spoken.
He did.
Nice. All right.
Metaphorical
sir.
mic drop.
The metaphorical Redbeard. Dude, what did you just throw?
My fault. I almost just tossed it up and it hit me right in my
Holy
mouth.
fuck, that's a lot of foam on an infected beer.
I know. I gave myself too much head. No, it's not. No,
Isn't that always the case?
Greg is a flexible boy.
Greg is a flexible man. Yeah, right.
I mean, let's be honest. If I was that flexible, I probably would at least try it once.
At least
Would you try it once, Nick? I know you don't mind trying things once.
Like Eiffel
All right,
Towers.
So, an Eiffel Tower yourself. Now they call that the Morbius strip.
Greg just lays down and pees and gets the arc to come back right into his own mouth.
Wow. There's a lot of pee
That's a thing.
fantasies about Greg
Yeah.
tonight. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel I wish the legend could just match the actual person, or the person can match the legend. That's the way it goes. Because I would disappoint you all. I just piss all over the place, and then I don't wash my hands because fuck you, Nick.
Nice.
Now talk about the beer.
All right, the beer. So basically, copy and paste pretty much everything Redbeard said, and then tell AI to do the exact opposite and write that review. Because it's I don't know. I'm glad Lady Lee asked, because I was going to ask the exact same question: was it refrigerated? Because I don't get a hint. I mean, I'm the 24th February, which I think is the same as Carrie, or if not close. I don't get any remote maltiness. Now, I will say I don't drink this often, so I don't have like a super fresh can to compare it to. So fair enough. But I don't get even a hint of maltiness. I mean, to me, I get a whack load of fruity flavored hops. I mean, despite it being called West Coast, I mean, this is the West Coast. I just got beaten by a pine bush right now, or a pine tree, or wherever pine grows.
Forest.
This is not like, if you gave this to me blind, I wouldn't call this a West Coast. And again, maybe if it was ultra fresh, maybe it is more West Coasty. I don't know, but to me, it strikes me as one of that lost style, East Coast, where it's kind of a combination of, before you had hazies, kind of a combination of the more fruity IPAs mixed with kind of a West Coast. It's still got the bitterness. I don't get any malt whatsoever to it. And frankly, it's quite delicious. So I'm going to try to balance Redbeard's score by overrating this, and I'm going to give this 9s across the board, because I think it's freaking delicious. Although if I do have the opportunity to try an ultra fresh one, like a day old, I will buy it just to confirm. But I think it's delicious. I would happily, if I had another one of these, I would drink it again right now. But instead, I'll drink this.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
Yay!
Let's go to the sack of shite. Hi, Scott.
Wow.
Hey.
What do you think of the beer?
So it's pretty much on par for what I've had before. It's a very West Coast IPA. I'm the latest of the cans of December 2024. Yeah, because I went to a rarely visited liquor store here in town.
Somerset.
Somerset. It's very piney. It's the opposite of what Greg was saying. He says he doesn't.
We're all tasting something different.
Yeah. It's very piney, not juicy enough. I'd like to see it a little bit more juicy, a little bit more have the fruit flavors in it. But I do taste the pineapple, and I don't like pineapple. It has a very bitter aftertaste to it, of course, because it is a West Coast IPA. But it's nice to see that it's smooth on the tip of the tongue. So when it's going past your tongue, past your lips, past your tongue, very smooth, very refreshing. But then the back end of it, I'm not a big fan of because of the pine. 6.8% ABV, but you really can't taste the liquor in it, the alcohol in it. And personally, I wouldn't drink this again, because I'm not a person that enjoys IPAs too much. But I mean, I will still drink a few. I've had a few good IPAs before. Actually, I have a double IPA in the fridge that's going to be my next one. So I can't say that I don't drink IPAs. So for style, I'm going to give it an 8. It's probably pretty much on par for what you want for a West Coast IPA. Like I said, I'd like to see a little bit more flavor on the juice part of it. But that's where it's 8. For personal preference, I'll give it a 6.
Oof.
Not poison, but something that I probably wouldn't drink. I wouldn't go out and get in.
Not poison.
Remember, poison starts at 5 and goes down.
Oh wow!
All right. Okay, thank you, Scott.
I mean, you go
Let's,
down with poison.
roll on over to the Lady of the League.
So I don't know where Scott got that fucking answer, because I feel like that was probably the most professional review we are gonna have tonight.
Hashtag.
It sounded pretty fucking good, and now I'm after you. So I get to fumble over my words.
Don't
For
follow
like,
it up. Scott's the new Ashley Sexton.
Try
I don't have time for
following.
notes.
Try following up Ashley.
Ashley was like tasting notes.
Yeah.
Well, let's
I
go
used
through
to
the
always have
history
to
of
follow up
IPAs.
Ashley.
So, it has, okay, so this, I am kind of in the same boat as Scott with like similar notes. So it, to me, like when I hear West Coast IPA, as soon as I read the can, I'm like, I'm probably not going to really like this beer because I'm not really a fan of the West Coast IPAs. With my limited experience that I do have, I know that I just don't like them. And this one's a little different though. This one, I'm not as hateful on it. I think that like the initial taste that you take, the initial taste that like you first get is it's really flavorful. It's like got a nice taste to it. It tastes nice little bit of fruity, but not too fruity, and you got like a little bit of bitterness. But my issue with this one, it literally feels like I'm sucking on like orange peels and pine needles. Like that's all that's left in the background is like that really strong taste of like I just shoved it in my mouth and left it there just for the flavor, and I don't like that flavor.
There's
It's
your
not that
sound
great of a
clip,
flavor.
Jamie.
I agree, Lately.
But
Force.
the reason I asked with Carrie as well, because my can's the same age, but my can has a lot of flavor to it.
I'm your Carrie. It's okay.
And I'm just kind of wondering because like I know that sometimes North Bay is known for just kind of leaving stuff not refrigerated.
Sheltered.
Like it could have been that it wasn't. I don't know. It could be anything though. Like realistic could be anything. I know
it tastes to me like it wasn't in the fridge from the get go. Like it sat out for a while,
okay,
and then they threw like again the LCBO and Alcuin. They do like the end of the SKUs kind of thing where they'll have something on sale and they'll whenever they're promoting stuff out of the fridge.
Yeah,
this could have been there and got into the fridge again. When it's fresh, it's great. This can I have right now is not so fresh and not so great.
because I was gonna say with mine, like it bursts with flavor. Like you have the first sip and you can really taste like a lot of different elements part of the beer. So for it to kind of hear that, I kind of wonder what happened. But Alexandria literally has all their beer in the fridge. There's nothing that goes on the shelf. The only thing that goes on the shelf is anything that's clearance. And I'm surprised that some of the stuff is still there, honestly. There's still Christmas beers. But yeah, absolutely everything goes on the shelf. So I think that's kind of the difference is that guaranteed this was probably refrigerated the whole time. But
actually, that's the one thing that I'll say. Like the Lakeshore LCBO, they're like all of their beer is in the fridge. They don't do any of the end of the SKU stuff with their beer. It's all in the fridge. Algonquin's the only one that does it like that with the half and half, and then downtown leaves their stuff outside the room.
Literally just like throws it up and you're like, okay, yeah, that should be the order of the beers. Like it's so fucked up.
Gotta put all the seltzers and fucking other crap in the fridge though. But yeah,
let's put like these ones that can like literally survive an apocalypse and still be like taste the same.
For 10 years will be fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so also I do have to comment with this beer as it's warming up. I am getting like more flavors. It's not making me hate it though, because sometimes I find with beers that as they get warmer, they do taste worse. But as I let the other flavor, like the flavors linger on my tongue, again, that fucking pine needle and like orange slices, like, God damn it. It's killing me right now. Because I would rate this much higher if I didn't have this like taste of fucking bitterness that won't go away. Like,
are you saying you should you want to let it breathe a little bit? Like you're going to leave it out for a little bit and it's going to breathe a little bit better.
It's not a scotch. I don't think it's going to make much difference.
I was going to say it's not a fucking wine either. Like what the hell?
Yeah. Sure. Anyway,
we run it through a decanter and then finish it off.
Cut it. Add like 50% water to just see if you can get some extra flavor out of there.
Anyway, from all the descriptions that I've ever gotten from all of you about West Coast IPAs, I think this one has it. I think they did a really good job. So I'm going to kind of lean with Greg tonight, and I'm going to go style. I'm going to say 9. Personal preference, on the other hand, and I'm on this like really weird thing because like I really do like the taste of the beer. It's just the aftertaste is fucking killing me. So I think I'm gonna lean towards a 7 because as much as like the aftertaste is killing me, I really do enjoy the taste. Like I drank this a lot faster than I anticipated, but it's nothing that I'm going to be like, I'll go out of my way and buy with enjoy the excitement. But if someone gives it to me, I'd totally drink it.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you, Laylee. All right,
You're welcome.
to close this off, I'm going to put my hands. Psych.
No,
Dan.
Yay,
Nice,
Dan.
nice, Nick. Well played. Well played,
Psych.
sir.
Oh,
Well,
Dan,
just because
Nick
I
is
put up a
fucking
review before you, you didn't have to be that kind of dick.
I love the slow reaction. at Greg's part.
Dan, sometimes it's not about who comes first, all right?
Sometimes
It's about the ride.
Come together. It's fun.
Right
Come
now.
together
Over me.
Over me.
Yeah.
Anyways, there you go, James.
On
There's
me,
your
around
second
me,
death.
through me, in me.
Just not in my hair.
Anyways,
What hair? Your pubes?
Yeah, it's chest hair. His chest hair.
Greg is like a seal. He doesn't have chest hair.
Okay, back hair.
I
Then.
do have a little bit right now because I've been lazy, but normally I don't.
Down
Well,
below
now that we've
his
talked about
knees.
Greg's back hair, his chest hair, and hopefully not his pube hair, let's continue on, shall we?
He's got those hot
Hey,
feet.
Dan. Hey, Dan, just so you know, my pubes are shorter than this right now. So just so you know.
All right, look at you go. So
Come
am I.
together. Oh,
Like
yeah.
Charles is
Over
up the
Greg.
No, we're Greg.
That's fishy. Anyways,
Dan,
Are you
just
all
above
coming
my
over
balls.
Greg?
Isn't
Is that what's happening right now?
isn't that Greg cocky? We've talked about
It's a
this.
Greg,
Yeah,
it's a Greg
Greg
Cocky
Greg
party.
Cocky.
There ain't no
Right.
party like a Greg Cocky party.
I thankfully cannot participate. So I'm gonna walk away from this
Not
one.
with
now
that
that I've
attitude.
had some beautiful nightmares, or I'm going to have some beautiful nightmares. So yeah, as I said, I had this before, and I was watching my review while I was listening to you guys half-heartedly.
Who doesn't like our
more
reviews?
hardly than I am.
And I noticed that it was a lot clearer when I poured it back 9 years ago. This is more cloudier than what it used to be. So they did change the style from a hemisphere, whatever the fuck that is, IPA, to a West
How much
Coast
rarer?
IPA. Now, when I think West Coast, and I know Jamie's going to agree with me when he watches this, West Coast usually is a little bit more clearer, has a little bit more pine, has a little bit more bitterness to it. This does have the bitterness. It does have that, but it has that cloudiness that you wouldn't find in a West Coast. You might find it in a pale ale, though. And I
Beer
mean,
snob.
I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for a long time before
Well,
your
listen,
drinking
This is
age,
some
my
kind
dear.
of beer analysis or
listen.
something. What?
Listen, Dan.
Wait, let's be real. Before I was born.
Okay, yeah,
Wow.
you know what? You're not wrong on that.
Dan,
Probably
don't pay
before my
attention
wife
to
was
the
born,
bully.
too.
Just give us your review. She's being a bully tonight. Like, let her
nice,
be.
nice pink nails there, Lee.
Thanks.
Anyways,
Yeah, apparently pink is the new bully color.
Excuse me.
They're-
I'm the only
they're-
queer person in the chat.
Their
So
color change. If she puts them into hot water, they turn yellow. She's
Hey,
queer person.
Hey, all any of us have to do is suck one dick, and then you're no longer the only queer person.
clear person.
Just because you
No.
are curious.
It's not
doesn't
gay to
mean
suck
you're
a dick.
queer.
No, we're all clear people.
so now that
Unless someone
Mr.
of you is queer, then awesome. You could join me. Sorry, Dan.
I mean, I like women too.
Too, as opposed to what else?
Everyone's good. Everyone's all right.
Yes, Mr.
anyway.
Crocker.
Thank you, Miss. Oh, I can't see your last name because I'm not allowed to.
Ms. Lawrence.
Yeah.
What is this? Is there a rule against that now?
We can't say her real last name because you're not allowed to be knowing it. So,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
anyways,
Last name is no longer a thing.
see, I'm being good here. Okay.
Last name is Nick Flippin' Smackin'.
As I was saying, I've lost my thought. Thank you, all of you.
Rob,
Thank
it
you
takes
all.
at least 4 beers before I get there.
As I was saying, it's kind of a West Coast, but not really. I can agree that it's got the flavor of a West Coast, but it also has that flavor of a juicy. But it does have the bitterness that stays on it. So since I lost my train of thought, and by the way, thank you, Scott. What was your date for yours, Scott?
December 2024.
December what?
19.
You and I are twinsies. So yes, mine's December 19th as well. Did you get chunkies in yours? Because I got a little bit of floaties in mine. So
You're a floaty.
You're a floaty.
Jesus Christ, Nick.
Fuck hell. You lose weight and you call other fat people floaty? Fuck you.
I'm not going to live flat fat. Fat floats does it.
Anyways, for the
Nick
style,
was a lot nicer.
For the style, I'm gonna right. For the style, I'm gonna go 8. There is the West Coast style there, but it is having sort of a juicy point for there. The enjoyability, I enjoyed it last time. I enjoyed it now, so that's going to be a 9 for me because I really do like it. It's something that you would be able to sit on a patio for, enjoy while you're cooking some sausages on a barbecue. And Greg, take it any way you fucking want to on that one. I'm done.
I just assume you like big juicy meat. Nothing wrong with that.
Give 4 beers to Greg, and he'll be enjoying some big juicy meat too.
There
Greg's
we go.
got an erection already. Greg's already erected,
That's
so we know.
Club is.
All I'm hearing is I'm getting a free beer.
Yeah, but are you? Or are you getting recycled?
You're getting free drinks at the bar.
Hey, what happens when I pass out is none of my concern.
That's why your shirt's yellow. Anyways,
no.
Continue on.
It's right, Greg. It only consent only counts when you're conscious. No. I don't.
We're not going down that path. That's bad.
Nope.
That's bad.
Nope.
Nick,
Okay.
backtrack and say apology.
Okay.
That's an apology right there, Nick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, so I'm gonna come out from hiding behind the duck and talk to. Thank you, Deanne, for that.
Thanks.
I actually wrote down what your ratings are. I was paying attention to your entire review.
Thank you very much, Nick. That's very honorable of you.
So I was also paying attention to this. I'm looking at Rob's comment. It's like, where is that? What lighthouse is that? Is that Cape Spear?
Oh God!
In the comments. I'm wondering if that's Newfoundland. Anyway, so yes. So when it comes to this beer, my recollection is I feel like there's been better beers that have come out since this. I called this beer one of the best Canadian beers, and I mean it's still a pretty good beer. It's a very, very, very decent beer. And you know what? I didn't realize it before tonight that it is kind of like, traditional West Coast style, but I feel like it's a little more on the tropical side to
East Coast style.
He does say it's Newfoundland. We'll get into that. I feel like I like that. That looks like Cape Spear, which is like on the easternmost tip of Newfoundland. I went there once when I was a kid. So
Cape Fear.
Cape Fear.
Nick doesn't need 4 beers. Just send him a lighthouse photo.
So, yeah, right. Well, I mean, I live on the East Coast, so I'm really kind of adept to, or at least very well steeped in how many lighthouses are fucking around here. So you can go to the coast. Yeah, you can see all kinds of other. I've seen lighthouses.
Okay. A question for Nick. Nick, how many in the general Quispamsis area, however you want to define that, how many lighthouses are there?
Probably a lot.
Depends on what your definition of lighthouses are. Because I mean, I live in a bedroom community around St. John. Like St. John's got tons of lighthouses, but there's I would have to drive 45 minutes to find one. Because there are lighthouses on the river system on the St. John River and Kennewick's River and shit, but there's not really lighthouses.
There's 2 in Quispam.
There's 2 in Quispam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what you're thinking, Scott.
One of them is on Lily Lake, and the other one is right beside
Lake.
the. Yep. The other one is right beside.
Where are you thinking one in Lily Lake?
Yeah,
That's in St. First of all, that's in St. John. Are
Oh,
you
sorry,
kidding?
not Lily Lake. Richie Lake, yes. There's one on Richie Lake.
I honestly
There's
didn't know
one-
there's a fake lighthouse in Richie
Oh, yeah, it's a
Lake
fake
then.
one. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
one, and there's one in Town Hall.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I
Two
believe
in
it.
Quispam.
So yeah, but they're not really functional lighthouses. They're not like for
What's
navigation.
functional?
Ones you
They're
previously
functional.
used for navigation. I mean, they don't use it for navigation anymore, but it previously used for navigation. I was thinking more like going out to the coast and going to Cape Spear, or the one like Three Sisters, or like or something on the west
Uptown.
side. Yeah.
Uptown
Uptown, like you got a fake lighthouse that's uptown, but the original one that was uptown was the original one that was at the Digby Pier, which has been taken back to Digby Pier. And then there was like one that was up in Market Square, which is no longer there because they renovated the entire. And we were totally off topic. We're talking about something else. The main thing is like
we are. You are.
You are.
I just love the fucking tangent we sent Nick on.
We start talking about lighthouses, and the East Coast has to represent. So,
Love you, Nick.
So, speaking of let's go back to the West Coast here. We're going to talk about. So my thoughts on this is that it's got a nice fruity, tangerine, floral, grapefruit kind of taste to it. Piney, pithy. I find it like the finish on this thing is very, very pithy, like that. Like Lee was talking about, where it kind of tastes like orange peels. It's got a lingering like orange, tangerine pithiness and pine resin to it. And I feel like I'm getting the pine. I'm getting the pine and the resin with the West Coast. I feel like I get more tangerine orange out of this than I get like true West Coast pine bomb. Like and I feel like it's a little like not quite West Coast IPA to me, that makes me think like, I don't know. I still really like this beer, but it's not quite towards the West Coast style as much as I want. But I'm also picking hairs here because it's actually a pretty solid beer in that regard. It's got a nice clean finish. Again, a little too tropical to my like, but it is very West Coasty. Now that that's actually kind of something where I didn't think about that before. It is kind of West Coasty. It's kind of graduated towards the West Coasty because this is slightly hazy, and like Dan was pointing out, maybe a little hazier than it was before. And I think that's just kind of like an ongoing trend with IPAs, but it's not quite that hazy. Like it's not turbid. It's pretty clear. It does look the part of like an unfiltered West Coast IPA. It's a little too orange tangerine kind of flavored for that, but I still really like this beer. So I'm going to give it 8 for style and 8 for overall enjoyment, which is a slight. Well, actually, it's pretty close to what I gave it originally. My statement about, do I think this is one of the best IPAs in Canada? Yeah,
not anymore
here, but there's been the bar in 2017 was maybe here, and now the bar is up here. So it's like one of those ones that it's not so much that this beer hasn't moved with the times. It's that there's been a lot of breweries that have upped their games and produced shit that's better. Now, I can understand where something like this has its fans, so they got to keep it making it to where its original recipe. That's fine. It's no...
It's fine.
Like when you talk about the best of the best when it comes to West Coast and shit, like this is not Pliny the Elder or something when it comes to classic West Coast IPAs, but it's
Pliny the Elder, like a pretty hard to get beer.
It was, but it's also a beer that was like a West Coast IPA from back in early 2000s or late 90s or something like that. But it's kind of like one of the things that defined the style. It was pretty fucking tasty the time I tried it.
Didn't we do Piney at my old house on Beaverbrook?
Yeah, we did that. Like Sean brought a bottle home of it. Me, you, and Jesse looked at it a long ass time ago. You know what? I actually looking at the can. You know what the funny part is? We were talking about there's no Citra. No, there is Citra in this now. Galaxy Mosaic and Citra. So anyway, maybe there is a slight change to it, but Citra is a very tasty hop, so I don't care about that. So I'm standing on that 8 and 8. I still really appreciate this. Why are you playing PGA Tour 2K25, Dan? You're playing
Well,
golf.
I gotta do my daily stuff.
Okay.
I feel. I
I
do my
worked
dailies.
on it by mistake. Sorry, dude.
All right.
Wow, wow,
All
Dan,
right. So
way to be
the
rude.
mess. I'm gonna put it back over to Scott. He's gonna read the rest of the comments.
Voluntold.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see where we leave off. Yeah.
You know what? Dan, what was your second rate? It was 9 and 8, wasn't it?
Who?
Dan?
Who? Dan?
It was 8 and 9.
It was 8 and 9.
Yeah, because the style was an 8. Enjoyability was a 9, so it went down really, really well.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to start at Lee because Rob asked the question. So we'll start at Lee. Nice for once, Lady Lee is intruding on Redbeard's review. Okay.
Wow.
God,
Lady Lee, the
your
question
cat just
was
took a plunge.
asked. Oh, okay, never mind. And she is disappointed.
Asked
Lady
wrong.
Lee
It was
says-
asked wrong,
Yeah,
and I'm
yes,
disappointed.
yes, it was asked wrong. Yes. Lady Lee says, "I'm losing focus rapidly. Sleepy Lee needs everything repeated." Rob mentioned it's 3 a.m. where he's at.
Where's Rob at?
Rob's
Switzerland.
in Switzerland.
Wow.
Lady Lee says, "Go to Ned, of course, because she's sleepy, so she means bed." Who's Ned, and do they have any magical beers for next week? We'll talk about that later. Mr. Rob says,
Oh.
"Nasty. Come to the queer
No,
Oh, the
side."
Canuck.
Okay. Rob says, "Come to the queer side." Lady Lee gives that a nice old heart. Noted. Red flag, 5 Rob.
Noted was for Greg and
Oh,
his
noted for
queerness
Greg.
at 4 beers.
Okay.
That's
Red flag
right.
was Nick and saying weird things that nobody should ever say.
And Mr. Rob says it's a red flag, and it is Newfoundland. Okay. Your Newfoundland, says Lady Lee. Rob.
Wow.
Your name is Needle Dick.
Yeah.
Name.
Geneva off to the UN headquarters. Okay. That's where he's at.
Nick.
Geneva.
It's in Switzerland.
Yes, it is in Switzerland.
Switzerland.
What's he doing at the UN headquarters, Lily?
He is the it was at the United States, Canadian, and Caribbean representative for the International Gay and Lesbian Organization.
There you go. Excellent.
That is a lot of people to be represented by one
Hey,
person.
hey, when I think about Caribbean, I think about Rob.
Like, wow, you think that like Canada would have one, the States would have one, but
My next question is Rob a lesbian?
Rob is
Say
queer.
so.
Yes, he is.
Bisexual.
I knew this. I knew what you said. I asked the question.
You totally had that pegged there, Scott.
I did have it pegged.
pegged.
You're funny.
Hey, he's the best lesbian.
Yes.
He's a male lesbian.
Everyone knows men make better lesbians.
Right.
That's right.
Yes, very good for Sir Rob. Hope you do well over at Geneva.
Men are required to make lesbians because they've
That's
got
true.
to make a baby.
All right, so that's all the comments. I'm gonna
That's
bring it
all the
back
comments.
here, and then we'll present the final scores, which are
There you go, Greg.
sure.
He was adopted
You know
by the
what?
Caribbean.
That
there we
is
go.
extraordinarily close to the original ratings.
It
Like
was 8.8.
the original was 8.8 for style. Now it's 8.1, but the overall enjoyment was 7.63. Now it's 7.6. Big deal. And
So
that's like it was
they
like
7.58
rounded up. So
The one thing I gotta say that I'm surprised at, and I'm curious whether it's my beer or just my taste buds, is the amount of you that found this beer to be bitter and piney. I'm just like, I got nothing from that beer.
I didn't get much bitter or pine.
You
though.
are a bitter whore,
I
though.
got some malt.
This is true.
that-
Some malt.
that's one thing I wonder.
True,
Like,
I'm
when
more
it
of a
comes to
I'm more of
the
a happy
beginning
whore.
days, like the weird thing is like I got probably the freshest canning day here. I have March 10th. So this like at the time of this recording, this is less than a month old. Like tomorrow is this 1 month anniversary.
Well, just remember, canning date doesn't necessarily mean the beer is super fresh. It could have been sitting around in a vat for a while. Like you'd think in a perfect world they can it as soon as it's ready, but maybe they don't.
Yeah, but this batch is fine. Like I find this is actually pretty good. But I mean, I feel like overall that the rating on this thing kind of holds up.
Well, I mean,
remember-
it's consistent. It's consistent.
But
I remember
be
the other thing
consistent.
Ashley.
Be
I remember
consistent.
I remember the other thing Ashley was telling us, God rest his soul, was that sometimes these beers are made in such high quantities that when they go to can or bottle it, the beer you get from the top of the vat and the beer you get from the bottom of the vat are very different products.
Yeah.
A la,
Oh yeah, that was the
a la
explanation of like Sparkle Puff because
yeah.
sediment in Sparkle Puff, you're going to get more of the sediment from the bottom of the vat than you are at the top.
It was the same at Moosehead too.
So maybe that has to do with flavor.
Yeah,
Because
Moosehead's more filtered, but still, like
The thing-
Moosehead's
the thing I
tanks are
found-
fucking huge.
the thing I found very interesting about tonight's reviews is not so much the scores, but just it seems that almost everyone to a degree got different flavor notes out of it. And I just find that kind of interesting because normally we're usually in somewhat agreement unless somebody really hates a style like Lady Lee with stouts or something. Like, this is like, this was a very up and down one.
Up and
She
down,
said,
and up and down.
But I mean,
let's
Lady
not make
Lee
it
and I-
sexual.
the old in
Lady,
out.
Lady
in
Lee
out.
and I don't like that West Coast pine style, right? Like it's one of she actually scored it higher than me on personal preference. But I'm not a big pine fan either, right? I'm more I like more of the juicy stuff, right? Yeah.
See, I like that.
I like it juicy.
I like it piney.
Yeah. So I mean,
I like it.
so it's gonna
It sounds like you got a
Ours is-
trach. I like it piney.
ours is going to balance
Wow.
out what the special pine people like. So
Who are the pine people?
you're the pine.
I'm a pine person, but I didn't rate this highly. I thought it was just a really good beer all around. To be honest, I overrated it on the style for sure because to me it's not that much of a West Coast IPA. It's an East Coast IPA. It's juicy and frankly not
Shut your
that
whore
piney.
mouth.
I will not shut my whore mouth. I became a whore by keeping it open.
Oh,
He's not wrong. He's not
wow.
wrong.
That was great.
All right, so we got our answer of what we thought about tonight's beer. 8.1 for style, 7.6 overall. It's a drop on the style, but it's a pretty much staying level on overall enjoyment. And I don't know, maybe it's just me personally saying this, but it almost feels like it's the style drop because there's been better beers. But whatever. Okay, whatever. So like, we actually haven't talked about what we want to do for next week.
At 10:10 p.m. Mr. Rob asked. Oh no, not 10:10. What was the next one up?
10:10.
No, it wasn't 10:10.
It's like
who's
3
next?
It's like 3
Oh,
a.m. in
it was
Switzerland.
10:07. 10:07. 10:07.
Lee
No,
Russell.
not Rob.
Lee
Rob.
Russell.
Next one up. There you go.
What's on tap for next week? We actually haven't discussed what we were going to do next week, and it seems to be a routine thing. What do we want to do for next week?
Well, are we up for another BYOB or a ReAnal? We did a ReAnal this week, so you probably don't want to do one next week.
Well, Lee,
So-
I know that Mr. Lee hates ReAnals,
Well, Mr. Lee
but
won't
he's
be
not
available
back
next
for another
week.
2 weeks. So we could totally do a ReAnal next week of something.
Malton
if we had
Canadian.
We want soul.
You know what? I don't think we've actually done Be Able to One on Soul. I'm
Really?
totally down to do Soul.
Really?
You know what?
We will do soul.
I
So-
find it hard to believe we haven't done.
I
but-
like Soul.
Soul?
Hold on, is it available? I'm
Soul.
sure
It's,
it's, gotta be
it's like
available.
a
Yeah, it's a
Corona.
macro. That's
It's a macro.
Alright.
It's a cerveza, like a Mexican.
Ah.
It's a Mexican lager.
Fuck, I gotta buy a 6-pack.
Yeah.
I
Nick,
can buy
There'll
it.
be two of
I
us
think-
drinking it next
Me and
week.
Scott can buy it in singles.
Nick, buy a 6-pack. We'll split.
I'm getting
There
a
you go.
6-pack just for myself. You can buy it
Oh,
in singles.
jeez.
Yeah, fuck you, Scott. You get your own
Fuck.
6-pack.
What, a 6-pack of Soul?
You can buy a single of it, man. They're like it's like $3 a bottle or something.
Did Soul come in cans? I know Corona can be
No.
bottles.
Doesn't
No,
seem to now.
I don't think I've ever seen Soul in a can.
And it's clear bottles, so next week's
Yeah,
beer
like-
may very well vary where you can get it.
Yeah, there's an empty bottle right there because I bought some last week. I totally. You know what? It's actually like if you like Corona, this is better.
Okay.
Yes,
I have a story. I have a story about Corona.
All right, well, let's not talk about this. This is what we're
All
going to
right.
do next week. So,
Okay. I got sick of Corona. Not sick from Corona. I got sick of Corona. I drank
Like the
96
virus?
Corona in a no. I got 96. I drank 96 Corona in 5 days.
Jesus.
That seems like a bad idea.
It was a bad idea. It was a bad idea.
Depending on
There
what
you
you're
go.
doing and stuff,
there we
like
go.
that's,
Brandon's
that's
in on
over
it.
5 days in the hot sun or something, making sure you're actually hydrated and eating stuff. That's not that crazy.
So,
Yeah, well, you
what
get
the
sick
hell
of
is
it, though.
Rob talking about?
Yeah, that's
Old
fair enough.
50.
He wants the old 50. Oof, that's
I
an old
drank
one.
an old can of 50 when I was in high school.
Oh,
my buddy had some in his
Yeah, that one.
fridge.
Yeah,
I
that one.
wish I could get Labatt 50 here. I'd buy a case of that.
No, an old 50. Old
Anybody
50.
who was wondering and has access to the beer store,
Yeah, it does come in cans.
You can buy a single, okay. But I might
So,
go that route.
309.
Yeah,
We can get single bottles of Soul here, Scott. So
Yeah.
like you just
All right.
if you go into the store and all they have is a 6-pack, just pull one bottle out of the pack.
For me though, I'd have to go to New Lisker to get one. That's the nearest place that has them in cans. So
New
Yeah.
Lisker, how far is that away?
2 hours ish.
yeah.
I'm not getting a can. I'll buy a 6-pack of the bottles. I'll be fine.
Yeah, just buy a 6-pack. You know what? It's not that
I
bad.
mean,
Like,
the
it's
good
like
thing is
Modelo.
you can. I mean, the
Holy
amount of time
fuck,
these
I
things
might not
take,
be
you
able to
can
get
knock
it.
back
Well,
6 of
I
them.
didn't look at this though. Like, what's the LCBO? Does the LCBO have cans?
You
or just
can't
beer
get
store?
it.
No, I just checked the beer store in my town, and I
Really?
just checked the
Legally.
LCBO has some, so I'll go check tomorrow and if I can grab them. But it says they have like 6 left in stock.
Okay,
that means-
So, Rob,
6-pack though.
if you're still in the chat, when you come down to Alexandria, you can bring us some Soul. You'll be driving to
it's
buy a bunch of
Rob.
LCBOs, so
Is he-
Rob's coming down to Alexander to meet Bob.
Yeah.
Bob
Again.
Is he?
Bob again.
Is he going to be on the Soul Train?
He's gonna be on the
Exactly.
Soul train.
Okay. I can't find Soul at all unless I go to Huntsville at the nearest, which is also farther than I'm willing to travel. Wow.
holy
Jesus,
shit.
You can't get Soul in North Bay. That's weird.
I was saying, I
wait,
didn't see it as
wait.
often.
I can see it in I can get it in calendar.
Nice.
I should be good. We're fine.
So as far as Scott and Brandon go, Soul.
Soul Train.
What about
We're a Soul Street.
79 bottles of it at Somerset? You guys can get your own bottle.
Oh, that should be enough
Brandon-
for fucking Brandon for one
Is
night.
Brandon North with me?
Wow,
Is
Brandon's
Brandon
like,
North?
no, he's over at
Brandon
Willow
lives in the
Grove.
forest.
He's in Garnet Settlement.
Oh, fuck.
God
Way the
knows
fuck
that
out
is.
there. Yeah. Way the fuck out there. All right. Should we take
All
this
right.
offline?
Yeah.
We're going to take this offline. Thanks for watching, folks. We want to thank everybody for watching. Rob, Brandon, Lee.
And remember, don't bully
Uh,
anyone unless they
I
deserve
think
it.
that's it. Exactly. All right, we're going to take offline.
That's
So I
Redbeard,
don't know, whatever.
do your thing. Redbeard. Do
He's
your
saying that he can grab Soul
That's it.
for
That's what I'm
Carrie and
looking for.
I.
See that
There
Carrie
you
can
go.
grab his penis.
That's it. Love it.
Yeah,
Love
get
it.
him to
Oh,
grab
being grabbed.
grab
This is
Carrie's
the only
penis.
reason why I come here.
It's
We all
not the
come
only
for
reason.
Carrie's penis.
That's right.